He is described as an enigma, a charismatic figure whose historic triumph in the 2008 election evoked emotion not only at the Capitol building where 2 million people gathered to witness his inauguration, but to almost every corner of the globe. His story inspiring millions who identify with his struggles. His family stretches across oceans and continents. His life a fusion of various cultures, religions and races. It begins in Honolulu, Hawaii in the US, where he was born.
Because let's face it, my presence on this stage is pretty unlikely. My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya. He grew up herding goats, went to school in a tin roof shack. His father, my grandfather, was a cook, a domestic servant to the British. My father got a scholarship to study in a magical place, America, that shone as a beacon of freedom and opportunity to so many who had come before.
At the age of 23 years, Obama Sr. flew to the US to study econometrics at the University of Hawaii.
While studying here, my father met my mother. She was born in a town on the other side of the world, in Kansas.
This play at Nairobi's National Theatre reconstructing Obama's life through his own account in the book Dreams from My Father.
Her beauty consuming my soul, like she was sweeter than sauce. She was the only omena in my soup.
My parents shared not only an improbable love, they shared an abiding faith in the possibilities of this nation. They would give me an African name, Barack, or Blessed, believing that in a tolerant America, your name is no barrier to success.
His parents would, however, separate 2 years later. Obama Sr. proceeded to pursue his PhD at Harvard. His mother remarried and relocated to Jakarta, Indonesia, with her husband Lolo Soetoro. His sister Maya Soetoro would be born there. Obama was only 6 then. But his mother feared for Obama's safety and education and sent him back to Hawaii at the age of 10 to live with his grandparents. His father went to visit him there. It would be the last time they met. His father returned to Kenya, leaving behind a boy who grew into a sporty young man.
I play well in the pitch, 3-pointer, I score.
But a young man who was struggling to come to terms with his identity as a black man raised by whites in the absence of his African father. 10 years later, when he was 21 years old, a call from a lady who introduced herself as Aunt Jane came through from Nairobi, informing Obama of the tragic road accident his father had succumbed to.
No. Not my father.
Years later, he visited relatives in Kenya and made an emotional visit to the graves of his father and grandfather. In 1988, Obama joined the Harvard Law School, where he made history.
He became the very ever first black president in the Harvard Law Review. Nobody does not joke around watching TV. He reads and reads. He chews volumes and volumes of books. He discovered the papyrus ring. He built the Egyptian pyramid. He was the first Egyptian pharaoh. He is sharp and hardworking and passes his exams with flying colors. You are no exception, Omera.
He would meet his soulmate, Michelle Robinson, at a Chicago law firm. They started dating, love blossomed, and they eventually tied the knot 3 years later. From their union, 2 girls, Malia and Sasha, were born. Obama practiced as a civil rights lawyer in Chicago briefly before plunging into politics, where he sailed through in 2004 as a senator for Illinois State. It was not until 2006 when, as a senator, he returned to Kenya with his wife and children. Few people would have imagined that he would become the first black president of America in just 2 years. In that tight race, he knocked down his competitors, starting with Hillary Clinton during the party primaries and then John McCain at the finish line. Sylvia Chebet, Citizen Live at 9.